So, how do you feel you performed this year compared to the other years?
I feel like I did a little bit better than usual. I stepped up to my responsibility as drill instructor. Took more pride in what I was doing. And so overall I felt it was a good year, even though we didn't do well as a whole.
I believe that I performed a lot better this year. Being a senior gives you a much different point of view compared to other years, as you see how much you've grown and you've seen the other generations of underclassmen grow as well, and you're also put into a leadership position if you earn it. So I definitely performed my hardest this year out of all my years.
How was your time in the high school marching band compared to previous experiences like the middle school?
The marching band in high school is much different than it was in the middle school, especially because you're up and moving around and you have to be perfectly at your set, so you pay more attention. And in the middle school, it was just more play the notes right, get the accents.
High school's a lot more intense. Versus just every day in band class, you wind up spending not just every day, but evening practices, sectionals, all of that, so it's a lot more intense for sure.
Well, I really liked the middle school band because I loved the teacher, and well, it's different since Miss Chaw's not here, but I think Burris is a really good teacher, and that Marley is an amazing coach.
I was usually the best person in middle school in my section, but during high school there's been a upperclassman that's always been consistently better than me, so it's been a change, you know, getting used to having someone to like look up to and judge myself against to see how I can improve.
I feel like that the high school marching band is pushes you to your limits and makes you want to be better than what you are right now. Because the middle school was just all fun and games, but in marching band it's actual competition and it's actually getting serious.
Well, I think the big difference is, and this is why I love high school band so much, is during the marching season and indeed during concert season, in the middle school you're just with your grade, but in the high school you're with all the other grades. And I think that's great because, you know, when you're learning with a group of peers who are learning at the same rate you have and have generally the same prior knowledge, you're going to learn at a, you know, pretty linear rate. But when you're surrounded by people who know so many different things and you who have the technique and the skills, you pick up a lot more stuff very quickly. So it's more exponential when you're surrounded by people who have more experience than you. That's why I love high school band a lot more than middle school.
It's an amazing diversity of what you learn, and especially in percussion when there's a lot of tips, tricks, and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
And you get it from the seniority, and you grow not just based on who's teaching, but who's with you in the band. And so in middle school, obviously it's a good nice family, but in high school band I think you take off, and not only in band but in high school you really branch out and you really discover how everything works. And
so is there anyone or anything this last year that's inspired you to want to improve?
Just basically being able to keep up with everyone else in my section and being able to kind of be a leader in the section for the new people that have come in.
I think the drum majors and the confidence they have in front of the band and their ability to kind of control 150 some students is very inspiring to kind of take control in your own life.
I gotta give a large portion of my inspiration to my brother Leo, a great percussionist.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And I think he really inspired me to become greater not as just a percussionist. and not just as a musician, but a person and have a better work ethic in general?
Definitely my drill master for marching band, Trenton Hargrove, because he always works as hard as possible and he does everything with pride, which is what we're taught to do at the beginning of the year, and he's always doing that. He's always enthusiastic, and he was just inspiring, especially the first couple months of band.
And what are some mistakes that you can recollect back when you were a freshman in the band that you wish you would have known and improved on then?
It was mostly my marching. Like, my freshman year, like, I was terrible at marching. I always stepped off with my right foot instead of my left. I didn't march in time, and also I didn't play while I was marching, and I did a lot more of that this year.
I think just overall wasting time that I could have spent working was the biggest mistake, and that's the mistake that a lot of us as freshmen don't see until we get to junior or senior, and you realize that if you just put the time in, you'll get amazing results. And that's the best thing that I can say to underclassmen, is just knowing when it's work time, and you'll have fun through excellence. And that's something that's my biggest regret, is not working as much as I could have.
Me?
Go on.
I would have to agree with that point. I think a big freshman mistake that I realize now, even not putting a lot of work into myself. But I think during band camp I put in a lot of work, but just this year in general I think I put in a lot of work. But I'd hate to look back on some moments and be like, I could have done better there. So there were a few moments where I think I played hard when I should have been working hard.
What is one personal trait of yours that you think has been improved from your time in the marching band?
One personal trait is time management, and I think to like focus on what's more important and finish that before you do anything else.
Definitely being able to carry on conversations or start conversations with other people is something that I feel like improved. With joining band, my music ability has improved, I guess. I don't really know.
Possibly like a social aspect, because I'm not a very social person, or I wasn't until I had to be on a team and talk to people and cooperate with people.
Leadership.
Patience.
I think my social skills, honestly, because it's so much easier to like make friends because you're always with them, and then you get really close to people, so that's really nice.
I would say my confidence has been improved a lot. You have to be willing to get out there, and you have to be willing to, I don't know how to explain it, but you have to be willing to put yourself out there in order to succeed, especially in color guard. So I think definitely my confidence.
I think my personal discipline has been improved, as marching band requires you to be always on task and keep yourself in check.
What's it like having a family where you're both in the same section? Do you compete often?
It's terrible. I hate you.
You hate me?
I love you.
It's interesting because now, like, instead of talking about like what happened, like in terms of like, well, how my day went and how like the rehearsal went, we can talk about like, yeah, we were both at the rehearsal. We know what happened, how we can improve, how we can tackle certain issues. So it's cool in that aspect, but sometimes it's like Cully's trying to do something, and rather than me just being like, yeah, that's cool, I have to like critique it. I have to like, Cully, why are you doing this? But
we all have our hobbies.
Yeah, all have our hobbies. That's true.
Finally, which of you is the better percussionist?
Leo.
It's probably me. I have a few years on him.
He's got what? I've known you for going on 14 years now?
Yeah.
We're going on 14 years now?
Yeah.
I've known you for about 14 years of my life, and I can honestly say you are 3 years older than me.
Yeah. I can agree to that.
I can agree to you.
Okay.
Disagree? Agree.
Agree.
Yeah, agree.
Alright, closing thoughts?
I'm proud of my drumline, proud of the bit, and I believe that we'll have great success in the future.